man. If you click on this video, you already know what time it is, man. We got Ja Morant fell for the NBA's most dangerous trap. I wonder what that might be. Let's get right into it, Coach.
In general, I think our advice to the league would be just put all of your stuff behind Ja right now. I think you have a moment here with him where you could really blow him up in a real way. And I know he's big already, but there's a whole other level for him to go.
I think Ja Morant can become that guy. I think it's still Steph, it's still LeBron, it's still KD.
Damn.
But definitely
look at the conversations Ja's being put in.
Face of the league.
So, Sel, can Ja Morant be the face of the league?
Yes, he can, and yes, he will become.
Wow.
Who will be the dominant player of the 2020s? So, Luka, Steph, Durant.
Wow.
Ja Morant.
If you would have asked any media member about 3 years ago who was going to be the face of the NBA in the near future, well, I just showed you. Most people were thinking Ja Morant. Ja, around this time, he just felt like he had the NBA completely in his hands. And
yeah,
to me,
man.
He always felt like the modern version of Allen Iverson. I mean, the mixture.
Hold up.
With the dunks.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry to cut it short right now, but I gotta interject real quick, bro. I was hearing that and I was like, yo, why people keep saying that? He reminds me more of like Derrick Rose. I ain't talking about personality-wise. I ain't talking about outside of basketball. I'm talking about basketball. He reminds me of Derrick Rose, bro. But for some odd reason, he get the AI comparison. I wonder why it is. Is it because like of the rebelliousness? Because you know, AI was rebellious. He didn't give a fuck about nothing. Like he did whatever he wanted to do, bro. You feel me? And I guess that's the similarity that Ja get compared to. But like when you talking about on the court, it's straight up Derrick Rose, bro. Crossover on your head top, got that little pull up midi, like you feel me? That's smooth Derrick Rose to me. But let me know how y'all feel about it. More AI or more D Rose?
He had, the shit he talked, how Memphis stood behind him. It just felt like it was something special brewing for a while.
Hey, that's fire.
Around that time, Allen Iverson posted this picture with his MVP. And
Glaze.
at that time, it felt legit. But
that was
now,
Glaze.
Everything just feels off. I'm not even just talking about the extremely odd firing of Taylor Jenkins. That's its own issue. And that aside, I'm mainly talking about the fact.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. He might have been clapping the exec cheeks like my boy Email Doku was doing. Hey, bro, we gotta put everything in consideration here. Why the hell did they fire the head coach? Everybody's quiet. He was doing something. He had to be doing something, bro. So if you ask me, I think he was doing something inappropriate to either one of the executives' daughters or wife. That's my thoughts and opinions on it, bro.
That Memphis, they've been hovering around the second seed all year. Yet still, even with how deep they are, nobody seems to take them that serious because we don't really know exactly what's up with their best player, Ja. If you simply look at Ja's injury report for this year alone, it literally looks like somebody that shouldn't even be playing basketball right now. In his specific draft, Zion has always been the low-hanging fruit to shame because of his lack of availability. It's easy to attribute Zion's to his weight because, well, we quite literally can see it and play doctor. Well, Ja Morant was in that exact same draft class too, and I promise you he hasn't really been the healthiest either. Since Ja's been drafted, Ja's played the 5th most games on Memphis. In the last 2 years, Zion Williamson has actually played double the amount of games than Ja. Even if you account the 25-game suspension, it's still a significant gap. Today's video is sponsored by Seek.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I kind of think the NBA was wrong for giving Ja 25 games, bro. Like, I feel like that that definitely held him back a lot, bro. Because he did not deserve 25-game suspension. And then when he came back from the 25-game suspension, all eyes was on Ja. And then he hit a buzzer beater, and then next game, or like I want to say the game after that, he got injured and was out for the whole season. Like, you can't play with people's careers like that. 25-game suspension from a guy like that. I know he was out there towing the glicks. I understand it, bro, but he ain't harm nobody. But business is business, I guess, man. It's tough business. Tough business, bro.
It's for a limited time only.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40.
They was talking too much. That was their downfall. Talking.
I swear it feels like ever since this one video, everything just went downhill for Memphis's championship window. Taylor,
Can you blame Ja though? Like, look at his eyes, man. Look at his eyes, bro. He looking right in Malika Andrews' eyes, bro.
video, everything just went.
You feel me? Like, I don't blame him for talking his shit, man. I would do the same thing. I got Batty in front of me. Hold on, let me sit up straight, man. Let me sit up straight, looking there in the eyes, like I don't for nobody in the West. You got a Batty in front of you, man. You can't be like, them Lakers really frightened me. Them Warriors, man, they really gave me the chivers. You can't say that in front of a Batty, bro. You gotta be confident, man. For nobody in the West. Yo, we know that was cap. We all knew it was cap.
Downhill for Memphis's championship.
Ain't no way Ja Morant actually believed that.
He just had the weirdest firing you would ever see, especially given the timing. And by the reports, it sounds like Ja Morant wasn't the biggest fan of the new style of offense Memphis ran. Now, I'm not implying
It don't
that
matter.
Ja
It's
got
too
him
late in the
fired
season.
or anything like that. We literally don't know.
Too late in the season
But
for
we
that.
do
You
know
gotta wait
this.
all season for that.
Ja is used to having the ball, and honestly, he's mainly effective in the half-court setting when he has the ball, dictating the whole offense. Even if you look at his best 2 seasons, he was top 4 in usage percentile in those 2 years. This year specifically, the Grizz ran a much more pass-centric offense with a much heavier emphasis on three-point shooting. Now, with all due respect to Ja, as the franchise player, I get it. That just makes sense. First of all, Ja isn't even there enough to be the focal point of any offense right now. And second, Ja hasn't really developed this game, and I mean at all. Now, I give him grace because I know he's playing through injuries, and even earlier this month, he said he probably shouldn't even have been out there. But it's hard to actually watch a lot of Ja in primetime games. So I made sure I watched that Lakers game. And it felt like I watched this play, and then this play,
Oh,
and then
yikes.
this play multiple times. And what's the common theme? Ja Morant always ends up on the floor. When you watch that game, all of this makes perfect sense. If you look at Ja Morant's best season, 2022, Ja as a point guard led the NBA in points in the paint. That's a very abnormal stat. Very commendable, and it's actually a testament to how great of a driver and a finisher Ja Morant actually is. But it's not a real sustainable stat for a dude that's 6'3", 180 pounds soaking wet. Look at that season compared to everybody else he's around. Everybody else is bigs. Look at that season compared to Russell Westbrook in his prime. Even Russ, with how ferocious we know he wasn't even that reliant on those in the paint points like Ja back then. Even if we add in the players that Ja Morant is normally compared to, Derrick Rose, Allen Iverson, Russell Westbrook, whoever, it still quite wasn't like this in their best years. Ja back then, he was very much used to pick and rolls where he was able to navigate screens and choose whether he wanted to create contact, hit his little floater, kick it to an open shooter, throw a lob to Brandon Clark, and that's kind of how he ate. If you look at Ja Morant's pick and roll possessions back then, Ja was top 3, and a good amount of his dominance came from that style. Now look at it now. He's 28th. I'm not quite sure why Ja doesn't like the offense, but if any new offense quite literally limits what I did best in my prime, I would be frustrated too, so it makes sense. But going back to that 2022 season and why they were abnormally great without Ja, to me, it was because they still played great defensively and they had much better spacing. In the games in which Ja didn't play, and mind you, it was a 25-game sample size, the Grizz would have led the league in three-point percentile. I'm not even saying Memphis was a better team without Ja, because they clearly have a
they
much
said
higher
last year
ceiling
though.
when he's there. His clutch factor, and
Not
the big
last year,
shots
but
he
I think that year, 2021, 2022, we all seen Ja go down, and we was like, oh, they play better without Ja, or just as good. If not better, just as good. It's like they ain't missing Ja. You know, this was a thing, I want to say 2 years ago, before the suspensionary thing, man.
always clearly makes a significant difference in that team. But even back then, it was just odd to see how well they played without their best player. They had a plus 300 point differential without Ja. I genuinely believe that's the style they prefer, and they wanted to incorporate their best player into that style. A little less Ja and a lot more ball movement and team success. We've kind of seen the exact same thing with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell. The last time we seen Ja in the playoffs, he got injured, and even if you look at that one specific play, it's a great example of the 2025 Memphis Grizzlies and why they've probably changed their approach. Everybody sit back and watch Ja while he runs a pick and roll and decides what this possession is going to look like.
Yeah, it's not good
This
playoff
is kind
ball.
of the half-court offense.
Yeah.
Then he jumps extremely high into the air and then takes an extremely dangerous fall.
Yeah.
I compare it to a run-first quarterback. It's fun when it works, but it's just not sustainable. Now, Ja Morant did come back this year and said he wasn't going to dunk. And we still see stuff like this, which I didn't mind.
Come on, man. You gotta let Ja be Ja, bro.
3 years ago, we seen a list of the top 25 players under 25.
Can't believe they got Luka over Tatum, bro. It bothers me to the goddamn core. It's all good. Ring number 2 loaded.
And literally the only 2 players above Ja Morant was Luka and Jason Tatum. Now look closely at this list now, and you tell me where Ja ranks amongst these exact same players.
He top 10 for sure, though, but yeah, he top 10. He top 10. Ooh, that's Tyrese Halliburton. Ooh, that's Tyrese Maxey. Ooh, might be top 12.
In the West.
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
When I say Ja fell for a dangerous trap, I think it's mainly his own success. It's definitely not as bad as a Ben Simmons and possibly even a Zion, but it is similar. Imagine somebody telling you to change or adjust your style, and in your second season, you had the success you had, and you were doing stuff like this in the playoffs. Bro, I get it. I just made a video about Shea. Prior to this year, in the past 2 seasons, he was still averaging a very efficient 30,
Shea's
basically
a
not
monster,
even being able
though.
to shoot a 3. But literally look at the level he's been able to reach this year, just adding to his game slightly. This year, he's nearly made 60 more 3-pointers than last year, where he could have won MVP. In the last 2
Should've won
years,
MVP.
and mind you, I'm only making this comparison because Shea, he wasn't the best outside shooter as well. But he had 12 40-point plus games in those 2 years combined, and he averaged 30 for those 2 years. This year, he has 12 in this one single season.
Yeah.
My point is, you see the difference in levels certain players reach when they evolve their game, and that's what I think Ja has to do. To me, it's literally impossible to stay healthy with that specific style, especially at that frame. If you guys like this video, let me know in the comments.
All right, let me know how y'all feel about it, man. Do I want to say this? Ja might be a very, very good number 2. Maybe he's not number 1. Pair him up with an Anthony Edwards type of guy. Anthony Edwards, if you ask me, he's a 1. He's a true 1. Ja Morant, he gets injured a lot. If he doesn't get injured, he'll still be a monster. Don't get it twisted. But as far as championship goes, he's the number 2 guy. He needs somebody else on his team that's better than him, bro. I think that's gonna be the ask for Ja Morant, bro. Not gonna lie to you, man. If he can get somebody to Memphis or go somewhere else where there's an actual number 1 guy they can pair up with each other, I think that's the key for Ja. So he can, like, you know what I'm saying, like, do his thing, but all the attention won't be on him. I think that's the best move for Ja if he wants to, like, win a ring. But he's still young. And he's still got a lot of potential left to unlock. So we'll see what happens, man. Playoffs is near. We'll see, man. Hey, hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. If y'all did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to your boy. We out of here, man.